Hello and welcome. Yesterday, I watched an interview with Bob Woodward where the interviewer pressed the veteran author on why he did not release the audio tapes of his discussions with Donald Trump when he learned that Trump wanted to downplay the virus. Before we get anywhere discussing why and what not, let's get this out of the way. Mr. Woodward is the author of 19 books on American politics. He is a writer who talks to people. Often they are presidents. He gets their side of the story, does his investigative journalism, and presents his view to people around the world. He is a writer, not the President of the United States, who took an oath to serve the country. By blaming Mr. Woodward, we are not only shooting the messenger, but we are also leaving the man with responsibility without any accountability. Now, is there any reason behind this angle of questioning? To ask ourselves why Bob Woodward took so long to release the audio tapes? Of course, people have every right to ask the question and give Mr. Woodward the chance to explain it. And I don't think Mr. Woodward explained his side of the story. I think he should just pen an op-ed instead of walking into interviews where interviewers already have a set of line which they want to take. Writing a book for a man like Woodward is not a simple job. He has conducted nearly 18 hours of interview with the president starting from December 5th last year to July 21st, 8 full months. And that's only the president. He must have spoken to hundreds of people during this period. Imagine the volume of data he would have had on his hand. And as he keeps collecting data, he should also be piecing the story together and give it a structure. And what evidence did Mr. Woodward had by April to say that Trump was not doing everything to stop the virus? The president was outrageously downplaying the threat, but how can Mr. Woodward assume that Trump wasn't doing anything? How many of us thought when the cases were going down in April that we finally got some control over the virus? I did. And what difference those tapes would have made if the cases kept going down and down. Instead of helping the president, who got the worst pandemic of the century under control, it would have hurt him and his containment strategy. Writing a book, especially for a man who is known for his books on presidents, is not easy. Every word and every sentence he writes will be examined with a microscope. Imagine the whole book writing process in 3 phases. In the first phase, you're doing your interviews, you're collecting data, and start piecing things together. As you're doing it, can you release the evidence at this point? Absolutely not. That's what a man without integrity will do. That's what people who seek 2 minutes of fame will do. It is just bad faith. The second phase is when you start looking at creating a structure, or if you already have a structure, then you start creating a picture backed up by statements, evidence, and so on. So can you release the audio tapes now? Once again, you're still in the let's get the picture out mode. You cannot do it because there is still one crucial and most important part left, which is to verify and fact check yourself. Now, the third phase is where the book is written, and only at this stage the author will have an idea of what has happened. Now, he needs to read, reread, rewrite, and make sure that there is not a single sentence written without evidence to back it up. There will be sections that will be added, or there will be sections that will be removed at this stage. And after all that is done, he would have asked people or others to take a look. And that's the time when he becomes ready to release the evidence if needed. Mr. Woodward could have never released any of this data before his book was complete and a complete fact check was done. And I believe he got to that state only by August. Mr. Woodward called the president on August 14th to talk to him for one last time and tell him that the draft is ready and the book will be on its way to the press. So the final draft was only ready on 14th of August. And if we were to question Mr. Woodward, we can certainly ask him why he took nearly 3 weeks after finishing the book to get this piece of evidence out in the public. Not a day more. Thanks for watching.